Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the hem on the little girl's dress. And to prepare for the hem, I've got pretty much all the seams done. I've got the French seams on the side and then a mock French seam in the back. So it's all ready to go. So what I did to prepare for this is I turned it up. The pattern gives us 1 1/4 inches for the hem. So I went ahead and turned it up 1 1/4 inches, and I also turned up 1/4 inch to clean finish the edge. So we have 1/4 inch, and then this is 1 inch. So that's what we've done, and I have gone ahead and pressed everything here, so it's ready to go. Now to do this hem, I've decided to do a machine blind hem. Most of you will want to do the machine blind hem because it's fast and it does work good if you know how to use it properly. But we don't recommend it for fabrics that are solid, one color, or shiny fabrics, things like that, or something that just calls for more of a hand hem. But in the little girl's dress, I've got a print and a nice background color, and so I've got thread that matches the background color, so we should be fine. On a machine blind hem, you will see the stitches, where on a hand blind hem or a hand stitched hem, you don't see the thread quite as much. But given the fact that it works well, we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, on a machine blind hem, you can, when you fold it up at 1/4 inch, you can go ahead and clean finish that, or you can just press it. If your fabric holds a crease well, a lot of times I just press it and I don't stitch it, and I just go with my pressed edges. All right, so that's what I'm going to do right now. And if it looks like it's not working, or for you, or you just need to keep, you would feel better if this 1/4 inch was permanently stitched, then you can go ahead and do your clean finish on that edge first and then do the hem. Okay, and I like to start at center back. I just find that's a good place to start and stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pin this, and I'm going to pin it right here near the folded hem, and then I will go ahead and show you how to do it. Okay, so I'll just pin. To watch me do this whole dress, you might fall asleep. So I'm just going to do part of it, and then you'll from me doing the part of it, you'll see how to do it, and you can do the whole dress. So maybe I'll do like 1/4 of it. I could do 1/4 of this. That would be good. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and pin it, and you want to pin it. Now see, this is getting a little bit narrow right here. I can see that's a little too narrow, so it's going to make it a little bit tricky. So I am going to take this and fold that in a little bit more so that I don't lose that edge when I get to it. So I'm just gonna take my iron here. There we go. It might take a minute to heat up here. But yeah, so this wasn't turned in on quite that 1/4 inch. But this will kind of show you what we're doing here. Okay, it's not heating up as fast as I wanted it, so, but we're okay. I'll just go ahead and pin that. Good. Okay, so now let's go over to the machine and I'll show you how to get everything set up. Okay, so we are going to use foot number 5, and that is the machine blind hem foot. Sometimes you guys have used this foot to help you do edge stitching, but it's meant for the machine blind hem. So once I get my number 5 foot in, then I go over to my control panel, and I am going to go ahead and select stitch number 9. So I'm going to push number 9, and that will set all the stitches up for me to do the blind hem. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. I was going to start center back, but I like to go this direction, so I'm going to start here on the side. And the first thing you want to do after you pin your hem in, then you want to flip the hem back, exposing the end of the hem. So if you look here, you can see this is the edge of the hem and this is the dress. And all I did is I've got it pinned, the hem is pinned like this, and I simply flip that hem back against the dress and it exposes that edge. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, with that edge showing, I've got the fold of the dress, and so I'm going to take the fold of the dress and I am going to put that the fold of the dress up against the foot. Alright, and I want to make sure, so I'm going to take this pin out now, I want to make sure that my stitches will catch. So when you do a machine blind hem, you have to be careful. The first thing you have to do is make sure you fold your fabric correctly and put it into the machine correctly. Okay, and again I can show you, there's my hem, I simply flip this down and expose the edge of the hem next to the folded dress. Okay, and the little folded dress goes right up against that fence right there. Okay, so on this stitch, the sequence of this stitch is to do straight, straight, straight stitches, 3 straight stitches, and then the needle will jump over across the fence and catch the very edge of the fold and then jump back. And then do 3, 3, 3, like 1, 2, 3 straight stitches. Jump over the fence, catch the bare edge of the fold and jump back. So there's a problem. A potential problem could be that when your needle jumps over the fence to catch the folded edge, if it doesn't catch the folded edge, then you have not caught the hem. Or if it catches too much of the folded edge, then you have a great big stitch sewing on the right side. So you have to be careful. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about back stitching because I'm going to come all the way around and go over top of my stitching a few stitches. So now what I need to do is I hold it here carefully, and I like to hold it here to keep it against that little fence. If I don't keep it up against the fence, then it won't catch the fold. But if I do too much, it'll catch too much of it. And also I have to be careful and make sure that when I do my straight stitches that I'm here on just the folded edge of the hem. So like I said, it is fast and it does do a good job if you set it up properly and are able to get all the stitches where they need to be. I would recommend practicing this a little bit, and you will do a little bit of your hand hemming or your hemming sample. You'll do a little bit of this. Okay, but can you see now how I'm going straight, straight? Okay, I jumped the fence and I caught the very edge, and now I'm back on the straight part and I'm just going straight, and this kind of bunched up a little. Well, it didn't bunch up, but it could. But be careful where it's extra thick where you cross the seam. Okay, so I just keep that folded edge up to the little fence, and when I go across I want to make sure that I'm catching it. Okay, and I also want to make sure that when I do the straight stitching I'm catching it. So okay, so far it looks like it is. I'll check it here in a minute. Now this edge, it didn't get turned under quite 1/4 of an inch, so I'm kind of pushing that in a little bit. But it is, looks like it's catching it okay. We'll see in a minute here if it's catching it. And the fact that I have a print means that my stitches won't show as much as if I didn't have a print. If I just had the solid, then those stitches would probably show way too much. Okay, I'll just do a little bit more, then we'll check and see how it looks. Okay, let's see how we did. Okay, once in a while you skip a stitch if you don't get it on exactly right. Okay, so here's what I've done so far. Okay, and you can see where I've got straight stitching and then it jumps over and catches the edge of that fold. See, straight stitching here right along this edge and then it jumps over. So let's see what this side looks like. Okay, all right, so that looks pretty good, and it looks like I just wanted to make sure I've caught it everywhere. So I just kind of check. I just check to see, like on this side, you can kind of check to make sure that it's caught, and it looks like it's caught everywhere. And then on this side, you just want to look to make sure that you've caught the fold, but that you haven't got great big huge stitches. Okay, and that looks pretty good. All right, so now what I would do now is I would just press this good and I would be finished. And can you see how where the print is, you hardly see the stitches because it just kind of gets caught up in the print, but on the solid you can see those stitches a lot more. See, here's solid, but still you can barely see them. So another 10 more minutes of this stitching and I would have my hem all finished. So that's all there is to the machine blind hem.